Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Vedic astrology coach, Rohit Kapoor, and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. In my channel, I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits, and this is the monthly transit update for the month of December, where I'm going to talk about how some of the prominent transits are going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. So I'm going to be sharing my screen here, and let's start with Aries ascendants. I'm going to talk about some key prominent transits for you and what you can expect as far as the month of December is concerned. Let us begin with your Lagna Lord, the Lord of the ascendant, that is Mars. Mars is already making a transit in your fourth house in a debilitated state in the sign of Cancer. This is where Mars has been. So entire month of December, this is where Mars is going to be transiting in. And on 7th of December, Mars will also go retrograde, or it will go Vakri in the sign of Cancer. So there is a very basic principle of Vedic astrology. When a debilitated planet goes retrograde, it is improving its dignity. It acts as if it's an exalted planet. So this Mars, for a moment, will act as if it's an exalted Mars. However, it is still low in dignity. Something that you have to be very mindful of this month is your decision making. Because when your Lagna Lord, A, it is debilitated, B, it is retrograde, and it is also in the fourth house, which is opposite to the 10th house. That means it is losing direction because Mars gains direction strength in the 10th house. So it's a triple whammy kind of a situation. So your decision making will be put at test, and that is something which you have to be careful of during this time. Now, this Mars, when it goes retrograde while being debilitated, of course, it is improving its dignity. So it's a sense of relief that you will have after the first week of December. And this Mars is going to be aspecting Venus. Both Venus and Mars will have a mutual aspect with each other. And this is a very intense aspect. I have explained that in my Venus's transit update video as well recently. Mars's retrograde motion will have a special aspect, which is the seventh aspect, which will be extremely powerful because its Ichha Shakti or its desire will be very strong. And it's clearly mentioned in Brihaspati Hora Shastra that planet goes retrograde. Seventh from that planet gets insanely and supremely active. So this is where you have to focus a lot as far as your workplace related decision is concerned. Certain karmas pertaining to your job, pertaining to your work or your business will be taken into account. So you could expect some sort of change, some sort of development. You can also get a financial rise or an increase or some sort of incentive during this time, which is something which you could expect. Your Lagna Lord wants you to step out of your comfort zone, but at the same time, do things which will enhance your mindfulness. So you need to take care of your mental strength during this time. Exercise, eat right, because Jupiter continues to go retrograde in your second house. It is looking back at your ascendant. Mars will go retrograde. It is looking back at your third house. This month is the retrograde month. Even Mercury is going to go retrograde till 15th of December. And here Mercury is looking back at your seventh house. So as far as yourself, your efforts, and of course your relationships need to be put at check during this time. This is something which will be extremely active, and these are some of the areas which you have to take care of during this time. This Mars will also be aspecting Saturn by its eighth aspect. And during this time, it will, of course, increase possibilities for gains. Workplace related gains are inevitable. In case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, this could be a pretty much favorable transit for you. Jupiter, on the other side, is making a mutual aspect with Mercury and Sun for the first half of the month, where both Jupiter and Mercury are retrograde. So they have very strong desires. So 2 and 8 axis is pretty much active. So you have to make some financial decisions as far as the month of December is concerned, long-term savings, long-term investment, and at the same time, it will support your transformation more from a financial point of view. You also have to spend more time with your family. You will undergo some sort of change in your eating habits. So this could be either by choice or you might be forced to do it. So that will be up to you in order to how you can maximize. I would suggest that you do it by choice in order to gain the most as far as this particular transit is concerned. Sun will be making a transit, and Sun is your fifth lord. It will be making a transit for the first half of the month in Scorpio. In middle of December, Sun will move in your ninth house, where Sun is also supposed to be one of the karakas or significator of the ninth house. This is where you would like to strengthen your bhagya. And as far as future pursuits are concerned, because this Sun is fifth from its own house, okay, if you have a prominent Sun during this time, you could create new resources. As far as workplace is concerned, new opportunities, new job opportunities, and of course, new projects that could elevate your status. And at the same time, that will help you become or have leadership capability. So this is something which you have to understand. Higher learning is also something which you will strive for during this time. Rahu and Ketu continue to make a transit and, of course, axis between your 6 and 12, where Rahu is in Pisces, Ketu is in Virgo, and both the lords of these signs are retrograde. So this is quite a karmic month for you. Financial management, stepping out of your comfort zone, and workplace related change, and also constant focus on relationship, because your seventh lord is under the fierce and very energetic aspect of Mars, and Mercury is going retrograde in your eighth house. So you have to ensure that you protect your relationship during this time. Use mantras related to either Surya, which is your fifth lord, or Jupiter during this time in order to gain the most as far as the month of December is concerned. And I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Taurus ascendants and what's happening with Taurus ascendants as far as month of December is concerned. I have prepared a sample chart for you here using my software, Parashara's Light, which is one of the most sought after software. I'm going to talk about some important planetary transits for you, what you can expect as far as the month of December is concerned, give you a very holistic approach and a holistic view so that you are prepared for this month and you are setting the right tone for the new year 2025. This month is quite prominent, particularly the first half of the month, because you will have four planets in your Kendra houses. There is Jupiter, there is Sun, Mercury, and Saturn. So your 10th Lord is making a transit in the 10th house. It is going direct. It recently started its direct motion. So workplace opportunities are going to pick up over the course of next few days. Mercury, Sun, Jupiter. So four planets in the Kendra houses. So you will have very strong foundation as far as the month of December is concerned. Your decision making would be mostly positive. But at the same time, you will have to think through. You would need to use your wisdom and the intelligence of Mercury, because both Jupiter and Mercury are going retrograde and they are making a sambandha during this time. See, Mercury is your fifth lord, Jupiter is your 11th lord. So definitely their connection forms a Dhan Yoga as far as this particular transit is concerned. So there is some karmas pertaining to your wealth, also pertaining to your children during this time, which you have to fulfill. You also have to keep your ego aside as far as your relationship is concerned, because there is Sun also, which is making a transit in the seventh house in the first 15 days of the month. So keep your ego aside, practice humility, and be of a very kind and forgiving nature as far as relationship is concerned. This is how you will be able to foster and blossom your relationship. Mars is going debilitated in the third house. Mars is said to be the significator. So, from that perspective, it's a positive transit. It's your seventh lord. And this Mars will also go retrograde. So, again, there is a relationship karma which you need to fulfill in the month of December. Mars is going to look back at your second house. So, there is some financial management that you will have to do. You will have to put your energy in your family matters and the matters related to your spouse in case you're looking forward to a new partner or a new relationship. This could be a potentially favorable time for you. You have to do a lot of future planning first 15 days of the month. And then Mercury makes a direct transit on 16th of December, and then Mercury goes direct in your seventh house in the sign of Scorpio, and it will be alone. This is when Jupiter will elevate the qualities of Mercury. So whatever you learn during this time, it is going to be very long lasting. So I would recommend you to pick up a course, pick up a skill or two, and try to apply that at your workplace. Venus, which is your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, is going to make a transit in your ninth house all throughout the month till 28th of December. This is an opportunity for you to elevate your bhagya, focus on your dharma, and understand that Mars and Venus will be in mutual aspect. Mars's aspect will be very strong on Venus, but Venus is in better dignity because it's in friendly sign. It is also in the ninth house. So this is where your remedy would come from. Worship Goddess Lakshmi. Use a simple mantra, Om Lakshmi Namah, or you could also use Vishnu mantra because Mercury is your fifth lord, making a transit, a long transit in the seventh house. And this is aspected by Jupiter. So you can use a simple mantra, Om Vishnave Nama, in order to channelize these energies and make the most of this particular month. Saturn will slowly, gradually make good progress as far as work is concerned. If there were certain things which were stalled, or if you were having issues with authority, with your bosses, now is the time when you can look forward and build very credible relationships as far as workplace opportunities are concerned. Go on a spiritual retreat, go on a journey, and try to practice spirituality. This will give you a lot of peace of mind, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Gemini Ascendants. What's happening with Gemini Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned, which is quite a prominent month, the last month of the year 2024. There are prominent planetary transits. I'm going to talk about important transits. I have prepared a sample chart for you using my software to give you a clear representational view in terms of what's happening. Let us begin with your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, that is Mercury. And Mercury has already begun its retrograde journey in the sixth house in the sign of Scorpio. Whenever Mercury would go retrograde, Gemini ascendants, Virgo ascendants will definitely have an impact. And this time, Mercury is forming a Buddha Aditya Yoga with Sun, which is your third lord, a friendly planet to Mercury in the sixth house. Sixth house Sun is considered to be pretty strong. Mercury is also not bad because this is the house where Mercury gets exalted in the natural sixth sign. It is your Lagna Lord. It is looking back at your fifth house. So certain karmas pertaining to your children, your focus will be a lot towards your children, towards your future goals and pursuits. So it's a perfect time to plan, set your goals, use all your intelligence and energy in penning down those things that you wish to do over the next couple of months or over the next year or so. You could do some long-term planning and thinking as well. This Mercury is being aspected by a retrograde Jupiter, and both are having a mutual aspect on each other. Spirituality is going to be on the rise. So you would need to increase your self-awareness. Your higher self-consciousness is something which Jupiter is going to support. Jupiter, when it aspects Sun, it forms a royal lineage. So you are likely to be supported by your seniors, by your bosses. If you've had some issues, those issues are going to negate over the course of the time. The other important planet for you is Venus, which is your fifth lord and the 12th lord, the most important planet. And this Venus is making a transit in your eighth house in the sign of Capricorn. Venus is the only graha that gained the knowledge of Nrit Sanjeevani. So this is where your interest in deep occult sciences is going to increase, and you could do some breakthrough research in similar topics or other topics where research is involved. Mars is continue to make you humble by its debilitated and retrograde transit. So it's going to go retrograde on 7th of December. Both Mars and Venus will have a mutual aspect. Mars will have a very strong aspect on Venus. Now, interestingly, your seventh house, on one side there is Mercury, the other side there is Venus. Your seventh house is in Shubha Yoga. So very favorable for partner, very favorable as far as marital circumstances, or if in case you're looking forward to having a new relationship, in case you have a business or if you start a business, this could be a potentially favorable time. And particularly the second half of the month looks quite promising as far as relationship matters is concerned, as far as connecting with your partner or those people who are opposite to you is concerned. During this time, you're also likely to make some financial decisions pertaining to your family, make some long-term savings related decision. The other important planet for you is Saturn, which is your Bhagyesha, Lord of the ninth house. It has already started its direct motion. So this is an opportunity for you to get support from your Bhagya, because Rahu will continue to give you some bigger opportunities during the last leg of its transit in the sign of Pisces, which is going to be there for the next few months. And thereafter, Saturn is, of course, supporting your bhagya. You need to take some sort of spiritual retreat or journey. Or this could also indicate a start of the journey, something that is new, which you could start during this time, which it indicates you might also go on a long distance journey or travel over the next course of couple of months. But this is the month where you can plan some of these journeys, and that could be beneficial for you. Use mantras related to Venus because it's making a transit in your 8th house, or worship Lord Hanuman. Either use Lakshmi mantra or worship Lord Hanuman to gain the most as far as this particular month is concerned. And as far as workplace scenario is concerned, it is going to be a light month for you, a bit of an easy month compared to the last couple of months that would have been heavy, that would have been stressful. So now some of those stress levels are likely to come down and you need to relax a bit as well. Practice mindfulness, practice yoga, sadhana, meditation. Some of these spiritual techniques will be very helpful for you, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Cancer Ascendants. What's happening with Cancer Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024, before we get into the new year, new calendar year, Gregorian year, which is 2025. I'm going to talk about important planets. I have prepared a representational chart so that I can give you a view of what's happening, how to read this transit, and of course, give you some tips, give you some remedies of what you can expect as far as this particular transit is concerned. Let us begin with your ninth Lord Jupiter, which is your Bhagyesha, which continues to go retrograde in Rohini Nakshatra in the sign of Taurus. This is your ninth Lord going retrograde in this 11th house. This Jupiter is looking back at your 10th house. So it wants you to look back and reflect at some of the decisions that you have taken pertaining to your workplace, pertaining to your job. Maybe you've made a change, you started a new project, or you accepted something which you now need to think through whether it was the right decision for you or not, and accordingly take control of the situation, take this change in your own hands, and how you could embrace and, of course, make better decisions as far as your future is concerned. Your 12th Lord Mercury is also going retrograde. It is forming a mutual aspect with a retrograde Jupiter. So your 5 and 11 axis is pretty active, where Sun, which is your second lord, is also for the first 15 days making a transit in the 5th house, forming a Dhan Yoga. But this wealth will come after efforts. And this is a perfect time for you to do some future planning. And at the same time, take care of your mindfulness because you could come across some stressful situation during this time. So how would you counter stress? You would counter stress through mindfulness. You would counter stress through meditation, through practicing and consciously practicing that kind of thinking where you can put your energies in the right direction in order to achieve your goals, in order to make some work-related plans, business-related plans. Relationship is going to flourish because Venus is there in the 7th house, which will be very supportive as far as relationship matters are concerned, because this Venus is also your 11th Lord. It is also your 4th Lord. So 4th Lord making a transit in the 7th house, you would see happiness as far as relationship matters are concerned. Take support of your spouse. You will be somehow able to overcome opposition during this time. Your 6th house is very positive because it's in Shubha Yoga. On one side there is Mercury, the other side there is Venus. So there is Shubha Yoga in your 9th house. So in case you're looking forward to taking some loans or maybe buying a real estate, by the virtue of taking a mortgage, this could be a favorable time for you. Your 5th Lord, lastly, Mars, which is going debilitated in your 1st house, in your Lagna, and also will go retrograde on 7th of December. This will be in a mutual aspect with Venus. So your relationship would need focus after this time because there will be constant energy, constant passion as far as relationship is concerned. Now, if your spouse is not able to balance that passion, you will have problems. If there's a mismatch, if there's a lack of alignment as far as the passion level is concerned, there could be a conflicting situation. So you have to take care of your relationship. Make sure that you listen to your partner, make sure that you communicate and you're there for each other. You are reaching out, and of course, you are consciously taking those steps. One good remedy for you would be to hydrate yourself. Keep this water with you all the time and try to hydrate yourself. drink at least 4 to 5 liters of water to channelize these fiery energies and understand Mars is going through a water sign. That is the sign of Cancer, the very compassionate sign. It is not the most comfortable position for Mars, but it is in your Lagna. It is going to give you some physical strength. Exercise, workout, this is where you need to channelize and utilize your energies at. Use mantras either related to Mars during this time or related to Surya, that is making a transit in your fifth house. This way, you will be benefited as far as wealth creating opportunities are concerned. And for that, I wish you the very best. May you have a pleasant month of December. Now let's talk about Leo Ascendants and what's happening with Leo Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024. I'm going to talk about key prominent planets, transits, and of course, what you can expect, some highs and lows, certain remedies. I have a representational chart for you to give you a very holistic and a clear approach. This is my way, this is my style. And of course, I started this more than a year ago. And I'm glad that it is working very well for individuals. And of course, many other astrologers are also getting inspired. And as we continue to inspire everyone, let me put some inspiration here. Month of December, you have 4 planets in your quadrant houses, Kendra houses, particularly for the first 15, 16 days. There is Sun, there is Mercury, there is Saturn, and there is Jupiter. Saturn gains directional strength in the 7th house. It is Digbali. It is in its own Mool sign of Aquarius. And it is also going direct. So there are blessings of the Devata during this time. You must worship Lord Hanuman to gain the most of it as far as this particular transit is concerned. You can also worship Lord Vishnu during this time. Jupiter is making a retrograde transit in your 10th house. Jupiter is said to be one of the significator of the 10th house by the virtue of its knowledge and wisdom. So your decision making is going to be very strong because when the foundations, when the principles or the pillars of life, which are these kendras, are in strength, it gives us very good foundation and it gives us very good decision making capabilities. Whether these decisions are pertaining to your home, pertaining to your marriage relationship, or pertaining to your workplace. So these are the 3 key decisions that you would like to focus your energies on as far as the month of December is concerned. Your Jupiter, which is the 5th lord, okay, is retrograde. It is in a mutual aspect with Mercury. Expect workplace related change. Also declutter your home. Also declutter your workplace. Make sure it is clean, it is tidy, do it yourself. This is a perfect time to fix some of those things and channelize positive energies. This is the only remedy that I could suggest. The month of December is all about decluttering of home and workspace. This is the calling for you. Your second lord is forcing you to do that. Your ascendant lord is also in the 4th house. It is not the most comfortable space for Sun because Sun gains directional strength in the 10th house. Here it is losing direction. So resources could be a little bit challenging. But if you declutter, clean up your house, this way you're trying to fulfill your karma and resources could be supportive as far as this particular time period is concerned. Your 9th lord Mars, which continues to make a debilitated transit in your 12th house. So automatically by default, this Mars gets Neecha Bhanga. It is Neecha Bhanga Yoga. This Mars is in a mutual aspect with Venus, which is Maran Karak in the 6th house, though it's in a friendly sign. There could be certain challenges as far as workplace is concerned, as far as job is concerned. You could have some opposition, you could have some enmity. Be careful of some people. So try to stay low key as far as work related situation is concerned. Take things in your own hand and take care of your responsibilities with due diligence. Make sure you do a quality check. Whenever you're sending an email, make sure you proofread. Whenever you're submitting something, make sure you do a due check so that you avoid any repercussions or avoid any consequences of certain mistakes. So this Mars will also go retrograde. It will look back at your 11th house and it will create favorable circumstances as far as the rise of income is concerned or material comforts is concerned. And I expect second half of the month of December, you should be able to overcome your opposition. You should be able to overcome your enemies because this Mars will have a very strong aspect on your 6th house and on Venus during this time. So workplace related scenario could be better around that point in time. What you must do in order to improve your workplace situation is use mantras related to Jupiter. A simple mantra, Om Guruve Namah, or you could chant the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Sada Shivaya, which is the presiding deity of Jupiter. Jupiter is linked to Sadashiv. So this is who you can worship and look up to. You will be protected and your workplace will be protected so you can thrive and have many opportunities. And I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Virgo Ascendants. What's happening with Virgo Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024, before we start the new year. I have prepared a representation chart for you, which will give you a holistic view of what's happening as far as the month of December is concerned, to give you a clear analysis and make it very interesting for you. This is my style. And at the same time, keep the concepts very simple. I'm going to talk about prominent planetary transits. Let's begin with your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, that is Mercury. And what's happening with Mercury? Mercury is going to retrograde till 15th of December. On 16th of December, early hours, Mercury will move into the direct motion. This retrogression is happening in your third house. Your Lagna Lord has gone into the third house. It is going retrograde. So it is trying to bring in some sort of change because change is very constant. And we see this from third house. Third house is also an Upachaya Bhava. It signifies growth. So one thing that you must do as a remedy, you must journal for the next couple of months at least. Write about things that you wish to do. Write about gratitude, those things which you're grateful for. And this way you will be able to channelize these energies of Mercury. There is also Sun, which is forming a Buddha Aditya Yoga as far as your third house is concerned. So you are likely to gain spiritual knowledge during this time. Your learning is linked to spirituality because Sun is your 12th lord. Later, Sun is going to move to your fourth house. It's not the most comfortable position for Sun for the second half of December because this is where Sun loses direction. So you could have some challenges as far as resources are concerned, but you could also have some foreign visits during this time. Or if you're looking forward to making a move abroad, the next 45 days, 60 days could be favorable for you in order to make that move in case you're planning for it. Jupiter continues to go retrograde in your ninth house. It will, of course, put a lot of focus on your bhagya, look back, and also help you transform for good. Both Jupiter and Mercury are in a mutual aspect with each other. So your 3-9 axis is pretty active. So firstly, whatever you learn during this time, your higher learning, okay, you will be able to sustain, you will be able to apply this at your workplace because your 10th lord is involved, your 4th lord is involved, your Lagna lord is involved, 7th lord is involved. All the lords of Kendras are involved in a 3-9 axis. So you must take up a course and try to apply your knowledge. You will gain as far as your work related opportunities are concerned. And this is the ultimate remedy for you. I cannot advise you any other good remedy but to take up a course over the next 1 month or so for your own success. Venus, which is again an important planet for you, it is your Bhagyesha, it's your ninth lord, and it is also your second lord, plays a very important role in wealth-related matters. So this Venus is going direct, of course, and in the sign of Capricorn, which is a friendly sign in the fifth house. So any mantras that you use during this time, you will be supported. This could be mantra related to Vishnu, related to Mercury, related to Venus, or Ma Lakshmi. You will be benefited as far as this particular month is concerned. This Venus supports progress, and it is also being aspected by a debilitated and retrograde Mars. So Mars that goes debilitated and retrograde behaves as if it's an exalted Mars. So it's a good window of time that you have for the next 3 months where you could witness some gains, where you could, of course, see some gains as far as your workplace or profession is concerned. And this Mars is having a very strong aspect on Venus. So your relationship with your children and, of course, love interest could be on the rise. In case you're looking forward to having a new relationship, this could be a particularly favorable time for you. Saturn has been moving in its direct motion and continues to move in a direct motion in a faster than usual pace. So one thing is very sure, that you will be able to overcome competition, your enemies during this time. Okay. And Saturn supports growth in this house because this is the Mool Trikon sign of Saturn, and Saturn is friends with your Lagna Lord Mercury. So this way, If you've had some opposition in the past, now is the time to take things in your hand, and you could have some sort of job related change as well over the next couple of months. So this is something which you could prepare, or you could get a new project or a better assignment, which could put you in a good place or a much better place than where you were. And for that, I wish you the very best. May you have a pleasant month of December. Now let us talk about Libra Ascendants and what's happening with Libra Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024, before we head to the new calendar year of 2025. So I'm going to talk about some key prominent planetary transits in this video, and I've shared a representational chart to give you a very holistic view and a clear view of what's happening as far as this month is concerned. So let's start with your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, Venus, which is making a transit in the sign of Capricorn that is happening on 2nd of December, and Venus is going to stay in the sign of Capricorn for the remainder of this month till the end of the month, which is till 28th of December. Venus gains directional strength in the 4th house. So there are blessings of the Devata during this time. There are blessings of Mahalakshmi during this time. Also, interestingly, any efforts that you take during this time, during the month of December, you will get result, because on one side there is Venus, on the other side there is Mercury. So this house is under Shubha Yoga. So whenever a house is in Shubha Yoga, it gets great support. So you will have good relationship with your younger siblings, your co-borns. Any effort that you take, you're likely to get result. Anything that you communicate, you will see its effectiveness, and particularly if it is related to your workplace, you could have some benefit there as well. Now, this Venus is in a mutual aspect with Mars, which is debilitated. Later, this Mars will also go retrograde or Vakri in your 10th house. So Venus gains directional strength. Mars also gains directional strength in the 10th house. So this Mars will behave as if it's an exalted Mars. So please expect work-related positive change. So in case you're trying to apply for a new job, new opportunity, in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, you can look towards it. You are likely to make some change either at your home, some renovation, some work, repairs, or you could also buy a new vehicle or some asset. Some real estate or home related decision is quite likely as far as this particular month is concerned. And at the same time, there could be some change of place or change of seat, or of course, change of location as far as your work is concerned over the next 30 to 60 days. This is something which you have to watch out for. Let's also talk about your 9th Lord Mercury, which is going retrograde in Scorpio for the first 15 days, forming a both Aditya Yoga with Sun, which is your 11th Lord. So this is giving you a natural Dhan Yoga in transit. So you could expect either a rise in your income, or this could be an excellent opportunity for you to create a secondary source of income, because Mercury is looking back at your ascendant. So it wants you to take some good decisions. It wants you to test your decision-making capabilities and the kind of transformation you can bring within yourself. And this is in a mutual aspect with Jupiter, which is retrograde in your 8th house. So Jupiter is, of course, elevating the capabilities and qualities of both Mercury and Sun during this time. You're likely to make some financial decisions, either related to long-term savings, long-term investments, or decisions pertaining to your family. You need to be careful of your speech and try not be aggressive. Keep the ego aside and practice humility. This will work very well for you, and this will help you transform well, and at the same time build credible relationship with people. So your Lagna, your ascendant for the first 15 days is under a Papa Yoga, because there is Sun on one side and there is Ketu on the other side, two malefics. So your decision making is not going to be very strong in the first half of the month. Second half of the month is going to be much better as far as your decision making capabilities are concerned. Saturn, which is your Yoga Karaka planet, 4th Lord and 5th Lord, continues making a direct transit in your 5th house in its Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius. So one opportunity that is not going to come for the next 30 years. The last 4.5 months of this transit, Saturn's working at an unusually fast pace. So this is your time for progress. This is your time to put some crucial action plans in place. And of course, things that you wish to achieve over the next year or two, and some remarkable things that you would like to do as far as the next few months are concerned. Saturn will support if there were any delays pertaining to any sort of paperwork, any sort of movement or progress. Now you will start to see some of the results. And for those people who are looking forward to having a new relationship, maybe getting married, this could be a potentially favorable time because your seventh lord is going retrograde. So it's a karmic repercussion. It is in strength, and your seventh house is also being aspected by Saturn, which is the aspect of growth. So it will promote the opportunities related to that particular house. And I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Scorpio Ascendants and what's happening with Scorpio Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024. Before we head to the new year, the new calendar year 2025, I'm going to give you a very holistic view of what's happening as far as the month of December is concerned. Here, I have prepared a sample chart using your ascendant, using a software, Parasha's Light, which is one of the most sought after Vedic astrology software. I'm going to talk about some important transits, what you can expect, and at the same time, what takeaways you can have. So one thing is very interesting, the month of December. There are a number of planets in your Kendra houses or quadrant houses, particularly the first half of the month. There is Sun, there is Mercury, and this Mercury gains directional strength. This Mercury is also retrograde. There is Saturn in the fourth house, and there is Jupiter in the seventh house. Sun is supposed to be the significator of the first house. So the first 15 days of the month is an opportunity for you. And this opportunity is being carried forward since November for you to strengthen your decision-making capabilities. So you will have excellent decision-making capabilities most of this month, particularly the first 15 days. The next 15 days also seems to be quite positive. So you need to take decisions related to yourself, related to your home, and related to your relationship. So a relationship will be put at test during this time. So make sure you listen to your partner, make sure you communicate with your partner. Keep your ego aside because ego can really get into your head. And when Sun is making an annual transit in your ascendant, you must worship Lord Shiva during this time, especially when Sun is making a mutual aspect with Jupiter, which is forming a royal yoga. So first 15 days, Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, they are in a mutual aspect. Mercury is retrograde, Jupiter is retrograde. They have a strong aspect on each other. So you must worship Lord Shiva to gain the most as far as this particular time period is concerned. This is not going to come back for the next few years, right? As far as this particular transit or combination or yoga is concerned, which is quite favorable for you, and especially your decision-making capabilities are there. Step out of your comfort zone. There could be a movement as well in case you've been wanting to, move out of your country to another land, get permanent settlement abroad. This could be a potentially favorable time for you to take this long distance journey and settle outside of your home country permanently. Let us also talk about Mars, which is your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant. And this Mars is making a debilitated transit in your ninth house in the sign of Cancer. This Mars will also go retrograde on 7th of December. And it is going to have a mutual aspect with Venus, which is going to make a transit in your third house. See, Mars will act as if it's an exalted Mars. So it would need to protect, you need to protect your dharma. You need to put a lot of energy, attention in your dharma, in your religion. Be the messenger of your dharma. Be the promoter of your dharma. This is the ultimate message for you. You need to also listen to your father. Make sure that you have a sense of compassion, empathy, as far as relationship with your father or guru is concerned. You need Guru Upadesha during this time because there is the beautiful Venus in your third house. So any message, blessings, or guidance from your mentor will be very useful for you. So make sure that you look up to them. Your 3-9 axis is pretty active, which indicates start of a journey. Now, start of a journey doesn't necessarily mean that you will travel. You could start a new line of work as well. That could be favorable. So from a spiritual point of view, it is quite a strong transit. Your spouse or your partner may start a new line of work that could be quite beneficial in case the dasha antardasha is supportive, but you will have to support them. You will have to support them in decision making. You will have to support him or her in terms of making sure that the steps are taken in the right manner. So make sure that you're there for your partner in case they want to start a new line of work. Saturn, which is your fourth lord, continues to make a direct transit. It's going at a pace, and it is trying to bring in some karma as far as fourth house matters are concerned. So, excellent time to declutter. See, Saturn gains strength if we maintain cleanliness, right? Because if things are not clean, if house is not clean, you spoil your Saturn. So it's quite simple. So you need to clean your home yourself. This is the ultimate remedy for you. Jupiter, your fifth lord, is retrograde. There is Rahu in your fifth house. You need to use mantras in order to channelize this Rahu. Mantras related to Jupiter. A simple mantra, Om Guruve Nama, or you could use a mantra related to Sadashiva because Jupiter is aspecting your Lagna and there is Sun and Mercury. So if you worship Shiva, use the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya, and you will gain some benefit as far as this particular month is concerned. And I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Sagittarius Ascendants and what's happening with Sagittarius as far as the month of December is concerned. I have prepared a representation chart for you using my software Parashara's Light, which is one of the most sought after Vedic astrology software. I'm going to talk about some key prominent transits to help you understand the energies as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024, which will help you prepare very well for the year 2025, which is going to be the new calendar year, the year of Mars or Mangal. So let's start with Mangal himself. Mars is your fifth lord, and it continues to make a debilitated transit in your eighth house, which is automatically giving it a Neecha Bhanga Yoga. This Mars will also go retrograde on 7th of December. Mars is an important planet for you because it's your fifth lord. It rules future for you. It is one of the most prominent planets because it rules progression, creativity, your children, and unconditional love is also seen from the fifth house and its lord. A debilitated Mars, when goes retrograde, it acts as if it's an exalted Mars. So, from a spiritual point of view, it's a good transit. You will be able to cope up with suddenness in life. You will, of course, go through sudden changes, but you will be able to cope up with this kind of sudden change. You need to put all your attention, energy in research related subjects, occult sciences, Jyotish, Vedic astrology, and of course, similar subjects or topics, things which are of hidden in nature, right? If you're expecting some sort of inheritance, the next couple of months could be favorable because this month, both Venus and Mars have a mutual aspect where Venus continues to make a transit in your second house throughout the month of December, which is forming a Dhan Yoga. This Venus is aspected by Mars. It's a very strong aspect that Mars has. So one thing Mars can do is it could bring a lot of fire in your speech. So make sure that you're polite. Make sure that you're respectful towards other people, towards their feelings, and have the sense of compassion that Moon gives you, Venus gives you, and at the same time build credible relationships. But you could take some financial decision. Make sure that you take some decisions related to long-term investments during this time. This could be quite favorable for you. Let us also talk about your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, that is Jupiter, which makes a retrograde transit in your sixth house. It continues to do that. It continues to build your intelligence. It continues to help you overcome some sort of opposition. This Jupiter is also looking back at your fifth house. So it wants you to continue to plan as far as future is concerned. And this is going to be retrograde till mid of February. So this is an excellent time to look back at some of the decisions, take corrective steps as far as your future is concerned. This time, Jupiter is in a mutual aspect with Sun and Mercury for the first half of the month. And then thereafter, Sun will enter your ascendant, and that will happen around mid of December. So you will welcome Surya Devta in your Lagna. But before that, what is Jupiter and Mercury's mutual aspect doing? It is enhancing your spiritual intelligence, your spiritual knowledge. So anything that you wish to learn, whether it is Jyotish, occult, Ayurveda, yogic practices, or yoga, sadhana, you could pick it up very well and in a very fast manner, and you will be able to immerse yourself. It will be good for your mindfulness. It will help you gain mental peace. And this Rahu and Ketu, which is, of course, disrupting your comfort and things at work as well, keeping you away as far as work-related opportunities are concerned, or if there are any obstacles, you will get a lot of peace of mind. You will be able to channelize your thoughts and realize that you have unlimited potential. Mid of December, you must welcome Surya Devta in your ascendant, in your Lagna. This is your ninth lord that will enter your Lagna. Mid December through mid January is quite promising. This is the annual transit of Sun. Please worship Lord Shiva during this time. You will be blessed. And resources will be favorable for you. Your Bhagya will be supported at this point in time. So, any efforts that you take between mid of December till mid of January, you will see results of those efforts. Because naturally, Saturn will make you do a lot of labor, will put you a lot of labor as far as the next 4 months are concerned in its last leg of transit in the sign of Aquarius. But one thing is sure, that you will get results because your third lord is making a transit in the third house itself. So any efforts that you put, you're likely to see the results as far as those particular efforts are concerned. The mantras that you will use should be either related to Mangal, or you must worship Lord Hanuman, read Hanuman Chalisa every day to channelize these energies. And may the Lord bless you and you have a pleasant month of December. Now let us talk about Capricorn Ascendants and what's happening with Capricorn Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned. I have prepared a representation chart using my software Parashara's Light for you, which will give you a holistic view of what's happening. And I'm going to share some tips with you, some remedies, and of course, what you can expect, some highs and lows as far as this particular month is concerned. Let us begin with your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, that is Saturn, which has recently begun its direct motion, and it will go at an unusually fast pace for the remainder of its transit in the sign of Aquarius, which is its Mool Trikon sign. And this is happening in your second house. This Saturn is naturally forming a Dhan Yoga in transit. So situation is quite favorable for you when it is about creating additional source of income. This is your opportunity to capitalize and put your labor in wealth creating opportunities, and also put your effort, hard work, and your labor in making some financial decisions. And these decisions should be long term, long lasting. This is also your last opportunity to fix your eating habits. If you've had some erratic schedule in the last few months, this is the time to fix it. This is the time to put the things back on track as far as your dietary requirements are concerned, and you will be able to do it because you will be able to embrace these qualities. Venus, which is the most important planet for you, because this is your fifth lord and your 10th lord. It's a yoga karaka, and this Venus is making a transit in your ascendant. So please welcome Venus here. See, fifth house and 10th house represents kingdom or Rajya. These are Rajya bhavas. So the planets play a very important role. And this kind of transit will not happen for the next 1 year. There are a couple of Dhan yogas which are active for you because your ninth lord is making a transit in the 11th house. Your second lord is making a transit in the second house, and your fifth lord is making a transit in the first house. So any decisions pertaining to your financial matters are going to be quite significant. You are likely to see some sort of rise as far as your income is concerned, because your decision making could be favorable. So you've got a short window of time where you could improve a lot of things and try to put some efforts in anything that you do as far as this particular time period is concerned. The first half could be a little bit challenging, but second half would be quite beneficial. Relationship would need a lot of focus because this Mars is debilitated. It will also go retrograde, so it is bringing relationship karmas. You will have some compatibility issues or issues with regards to the level of passion that you have versus the passion of your partner. Both Venus and Mars are going to be in a mutual aspect. So Mars will have a very strong aspect on Venus. So it is elevating its quality. You have to focus on your personality. You have to do a lot of personality development. Focus on your grooming, the way you present yourself in front of others. That is going to matter a lot. Because if you build credible relationships, you will be able to get some favors from these relationships over the course of next few months. And this is something which is an opportunity for you. Build relationships as far as your workplace is concerned, and you will be benefited by the virtue of these relationships. Your ninth lord Mercury is going to go retrograde. It is going to look back at your 10th house. So you will have to take some corrective steps pertaining to your workplace during this time. Some decisions that were not good or wrong decisions that you took in the past, you will have to now take some corrective actions. Jupiter is aspecting Mercury along with Sun. which continue to make a transit in your 11th house, particularly the fact that Mars or Mercury is going to go retrograde till mid of December. So this is where your wealth quotient is pretty much active. And at the same time, you will have opportunities where your bhagya is supported. So mid-December onwards, you will see some sort of progress. If you have some travel opportunities, if you have some learning opportunities, you should be able to capitalize it in the second half of the month. Any mantras that you use, if it is related to Vishnu or Mercury, this could be extremely beneficial for you during this time, because Mercury will continue to make a connection with your fifth house where there's a retrograde Jupiter. In order to channelize these energies, use a simple Vishnu mantra such as Om Vishnave Namah, and you will be benefited by this particular transit, and you will have some sort of relief as far as the month of December is concerned. And I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Aquarius Ascendants. What's happening with Aquarius Ascendants as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024 before we head to 2025, which is going to be the new calendar year. This video will hopefully help you also prepare for the year 2025, because I'm going to talk about some key planetary transits. I have also prepared a representational chart to give you a holistic view and make things very clear and super interesting for you. Now, one thing which is quite prominent as far as the month of December is concerned, your decision-making capabilities is going to be quite positive, because you have 4 planets in your Kendra houses for the first 15 days of the month. There is Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, and Sun. Mercury and Jupiter are going retrograde. So, of course, I'm going to talk about this as well. But first 15 days, decisions pertaining to yourself, your home, and your workplace could take your attention. And of course, this is what it will be all about. This could be a perfect time to declutter your home, clean up your home, and clean up your workspace, your office space as well. That needs a lot of decluttering, because there are 2 retrograde planets, and both these planets are making a connection. They are forming a yoga. Mercury is very important for you because it's your 5th lord, and 5th lord is making a transit in the 10th house. Both these houses represent kingdom. So you need to take things in your hands as far as your work is concerned. As far as the month of December is concerned, this could be a month of opportunities, particularly the second half. First half could be a little bit challenging. It might put you out of comfort zone. It might force you to do something which you're not comfortable, maybe take up a new assignment or a new project. But you will be supported by people or leaders at your workplace, because there is Sun in your 10th house, which gains directional strength. So the first 15 days of the month, Sun is supporting you. Your spouse could have some gains as far as work-related matters are concerned, because that's your 7th lord. And later, Sun is going to make a transit in your 11th house in the second half of the month. So again, there could be some favors. There could be some sort of increase as far as finances are concerned in your family by the support of your partner, and of course your children as well during this time. Now, another important planet, that is Venus for you. Venus is your 9th lord, your Bhagyesha, that is making a transit in the 12th house. So you could take up a long distance journey. In case you're trying to settle outside of your home country, this could be a perfect time to take this venture ahead. This could be quite a favorable time to initiate paperwork and, of course, be successful in this endeavor. Take care of your health. There could be minor health issues. They could be concerning more at the mental level. You need to do yogic practices. You need to take care of your sleep, because Venus is going to support getting you good sleep during this time. So this is something which you have to focus on, because Mars is going retrograde and it is also debilitated. So 7th of December, it will also go retrograde, and it is having a mutual aspect with Venus, a very strong drishti that Mars has on Venus. So you might have opposition at workplace, but by the blessings of Surya Devata and of course the support of Mercury, which is the 5th lord, you should be able to overcome any such opposition. But of course, it will bring some challenges for you. You will have to face this opposition, and you will have to face this with a lot of confidence. Your Lord of the Ascendant, Saturn, continues to make a direct transit in your Lagna. Saturn is Maran Karak in the Ascendant. But here, it is in its Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius. So this is an exception. The last 4 months of this transit is an opportunity for you to strengthen your personality, to, of course, focus a lot on your physical well-being, to bring in a sense of discipline. And this discipline could be long lasting for you. It could last over the next few years if you take charge of this decision. And of course, you make discipline a way of life. This is going to be the routine for you. To a lot of people, you might sound like a cold person or someone who could be harsh. Take care of your speech, because Rahu will continue to disrupt your speech, will continue to create unexpected circumstances. This is also the time for you to fix your eating habit. And of course, have a balanced diet. This could be helpful for you. Exercise, eat right, and have a happy, healthy month of December. I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Pisces Ascendant and what's happening with Pisces Ascendant as far as the month of December is concerned, which is the last month of the year 2024 before we head to the new year 2025. And this video hopefully will help you prepare for the year 2025 as well. That is going to be the year of Mars, year of Mangal. In this video, I have prepared a representation chart to give you a very holistic, clear view of what's happening as far as some of the prominent planetary transits are concerned. And it will also give you some remedies, some tips and tricks to help you prepare very well for this month. Let's start with Mangal himself, which is your Bhagyesha. Mars is your ninth lord, and it is also your second lord. So it plays a very important role in wealth. This Mars continues to make a debilitated transit in the sign of Cancer in your fifth house. This is forming a natural Dhan Yoga in transit. This Mars will also go retrograde on 7th of December. So firstly, it is going to look back at your fourth house. It will like you to step out of your comfort zone, do something new, do something interesting. Also, take care of your mindfulness. You might make some decisions related to your house, related to your real estate, property, maybe a new investment opportunity. Maybe you invest somewhere as far as fixed asset is concerned. So make sure you could make some decisions. You could also maybe buy a car or a vehicle as well during this time. This Mars will act as if it's an exalted Mars in your fifth house, which will create favorable circumstances as far as future opportunities are concerned. So this is your time to pen down your thoughts as far as your future is concerned for the next few months, because this will be supported by Sun and Mercury's Buddha Aditya Yoga in Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. So this is quite supportive. Any learning that you do during this time, if you pick up a course, if you learn something new, your learning is going to be long lasting, because there is Buddha Aditya Yoga for the first 15 days in your ninth house. And this yoga is being aspected by a retrograde Jupiter, which has a very powerful and special, strong aspect on the ninth house. So anything that you learn will benefit you at your workplace, because this house is also ruled by Jupiter, and this will be long lasting for you. You could be recognized, you could be awarded, rewarded for this learning. So make sure that you follow your passion and make sure that you learn something as far as this particular time period is concerned. Now, one thing that you also be mindful of during this time, which is Sun, which is your sixth lord, making a transit in your ninth house for the first 15 days. Mid of December, Sun will enter your 10th house. And this is a special time for you, because when Sun comes here, it gains directional strength. There are blessings of Devata. Sun is also your sixth lord. We see job from the sixth house as well. So mid-December through mid-January could be an ideal time for you to look for new opportunities. Okay, relationship matters are also going to be focused. While you will get support as far as new opportunities are concerned, but you do have relationship karma for the remainder of these next few months, particularly the month of December, because Ketu again continues to be there in your seventh house. The Lord, which is Mercury, is going to go retrograde. So there is relationship karma. And Mercury being in the ninth house, again, it signifies relationship karma. So you need to protect your relationship. There could be some conflict, there could be some tension there, and you have to take things in your own hands. You have to listen to your partner. You have to, of course, maybe compromise on a few things, accommodate on a few things, and of course, have a very low profile or low key, right? Do not let this ego get into your head, and try not to step away or step out of the situation. Step into the situation and take charge, take control of the situation. Your Lord of the Ascendant, that is Jupiter, is also a little bit weak because it is retrograde, and at the same time, it is in Maran Karaka position. So it is losing its significance. Your decision making will be difficult during this time. So what you need is you need guidance of a guru or a mentor during this time who could guide you in an appropriate way, in an appropriate direction. Your 3-9 axis is pretty active during this time. You should take some journeys, spiritual journeys, long distance journeys, spiritual retreat that could be extremely beneficial for you. You must pen down your wisdom, your thoughts on a paper in terms of the plans that you wish to undertake. You would need to put in extra efforts as far as your workplace is concerned and as far as life in general is concerned during this time. This is the message from Jupiter for you. Use mantras related to Krishna, which is associated to your fifth lord, Moon or Chandrama. So depending on the position of Moon in your chart, you can identify whether this Mars transit will be favorable for you or not, and how some of the benefits you could reap as far as this particular time period is concerned. And I wish you the very best. May you have a pleasant month of December. So friends, this was about the month of December planetary transit report. Very soon, I am preparing a special video on 2025 transit analysis for all 12 ascendant signs. And I promise you, this is going to be a very unique video, very similar to the one that I made in 2024 annual transit update. Stay tuned on my channel. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends. Thank you very much. God bless you all.